Big thanks to Indie the AM for helping to support my channel. Use my coupon code RISTER or any of my affiliate links for an additional 10% off of any order. Get yourself some good new clothes and support me when you do. Thanks again to Indie the AM. This past weekend, Sumabato SP49 went down in Japan, one of two majors that took place at the exact same time in the country. With S Factor 11 drawing away all of NA's attention, these two majors were strictly Japanese affairs, and they were also their last two majors before the end of the ranking season. But if you thought these majors were just tacked on little additions for top players to snag on an extra major win before the end of the season, you'd be ridiculously mistaken. That's because at both tournaments, the top seeds floundered, new rising stars emerged, and history was made. Today, we'll be going over Sumabato SP49's top 8, seeing their bracket paths to make it there and seeing how they did within the top 8 itself. Without any further delay, let's go ahead and begin by taking a look at losers' 8ths, those sets being level 1 versus Yoshidora and Sunna versus Yamad. Let's go ahead and start with Sunna and Yamad. Shall we? Sunna is the Greninja main with a Roy secondary who, along with Vanilla, is making Greninja known in Japan. Coming into the tournament as the 21st seed, Sunna started off the weekend by losing in pools. Yup, in only his third set of the tournament, Sunna lost to Tas 2-0, a player who mains, get this, Piranha Plant. Yeah, Tas is actually one of the better plants in Japan. Either way, Sunna got sent down to losers and from here went on one of the best losers runs of the tournament, defeating Momon 3-1, Inaba Koshi Hoshiyomi 3-0, 33 Parenbox 3-1, Fudara Ramen in a Game 5 set, Kashiya in yet another Game 5 set, Kome 3-1, and lastly, Sunna defeated Karage 3-0 to make top 8 from loser's side. But before we move on, there's something I have to mention first. Kashiya, who I just mentioned as a part of Sunna's big losers run. If you're a very dedicated viewer, you may remember Kashiya, who I mentioned last week. I only really mentioned him in passing though, as a Falco main who's a bit of a rising star, top 8ing some B tiers in Japan. Well, today, Kashiya cemented himself as a rising star. That's because, in pools, Kashiya defeated the first seed of the entire tournament, Miya, in a 2-0 victory. Yeah, in pools in Falco Game & Watch. This is one of Miya's worst losses all year. And afterwards, Miya made a massive losers run through top 96. He almost made top 8 too, if it hadn't been for Snow, who defeated Miya in a Game 5 set. And yeah, Snow did use Aegis in this set, but only in Game 1, which Snow didn't even win. No. It was Snow's Mario that ended up knocking Miya out of bracket, at 13th place as the first seed. His worst performance in Japan this year. Miya had hoped to use this Sumabato as one more major win to solidify his placement within the top 2 this year. Instead, this performance almost ensures that his spot there is now threatened, after having lost 2 matchups seen as unlosable by many. I actually really feel bad, given how hard Miya's been working this season. For his part, Kashiya would end up placing 17th as the 64th seed, now definitively a rising star. But for now, let's move on to our next top 8 finisher, Yamad. Yamad is a Rosalina main who is the biggest breakout story from this entire tournament, entering Sumabato SP49 as the 46th seed. And unlike Sunna's run, Yamad's bracket path was almost entirely in winner's side, starting off the weekend by getting through pools with an upset 2-0 victory over Yonapi, a player I just made a documentary on, in case you missed it. Now moving into top 96, Yamad got 2 more upset wins, a Game 5 victory over Kome Shulk, and most impressively, a 3-1 win over Yoshidora, making it all the way into winners quarterfinals. Once here, Yamad would lose 3-0 to Shirayuki's Inkling, dropping down into losers bracket and lastly defeating Snow, who had just beaten Miya in a close Game 5 set. And yeah, even if Miya had beaten Snow, his next set would have been a Rosalina main. Either way, Yamad made it into top 8 from loser's side. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time a Rosalina main not named Dabuz has top 8'd a major. And now, Yamad went up against the other big breakout, Sunna.
さあお互いにかなりストイックにスマブラに向き合っている印象もありますが、見てまいりましょう。
やっぱロイになるんですね。
なるほど。
そうですね。あのタイミングでジャンプ切るって結構復帰弱者側的にはやっぱ嫌なんで。
そうですよね。さあ上スマッシュ。右にそれ九死に一生というようなワンシーンになりました。キムがヒールが横スマッシュしっかりと反撃取っています。さあこれはジャンプがなくな
はりさっきの安賀が冴えてきましたね。
空中の差し込みによりリスクがついてきますが、ベクトルかなり低いですか。
そうですね、一旦チコ処理したいけどチコがおおしっかり外から。
うまい。
マジ？
ここにはリスクはあえてクリアしません。中央からよく見立てる。空中上つながる。
つながってそうですね。今の弱空へのからダッシュ上揚処理と掴んでるんですよね、山根選手が。結構チコがいるのも関係してるかもしれないですけど、まだ
空中へ届いています。
And in the end, Yamad emerged victorious in 3-0 fashion, in a set where Sunna strictly used his secondary Roy, presumably for the better matchup. Either way, this ended up eliminating Sunna at 7th place as the 21st seed, and Yamad moved on in bracket. Now it's time for us to take a look at the other side of losers 8ths, level 1 versus Yoshidora. Yoshidora came into the tournament as the 3rd seed, and started off the weekend by getting through pools flawlessly, before then having a close call Game 5 set against Meido, who I believe plays Zero Suit Samus. After this set, however, Yoshidora lost in a 3-1 upset loss to Yamad, which we covered earlier, dropping into losers and first defeating Nizamamo's Bayonetta 3-1. Next moving on, proceeding to 3-0 both Raru Kikusu's Donkey Kong, and lastly, Rocky's Kazuya, making top 8 from loser's side. Level 1 entered Sumabato SP49 as the 8th seed, and had a run mostly done through winners, sweeping pools without dropping a game before moving into top 96 and defeating Sasusoto's Rob in a close Game 5 set, as well as Wine, the best Zelda in the world, in a 3-1 to make it into winners quarterfinals. Once here, level 1 would lose to Ron's Yoshi in yet another Game 5, dropping into losers and lastly defeating Loppy's Rob 3-1 to make top 8 from loser's side, in order to go up against Yoshidora.
参りましょ
もう始まるっぽいですね、これは。
う。そうですね。はい。第49回スマバト SP ルーザーズトップ8の1、吉田%の動きは先ほどの殴り合いを終えて少し緩やかになった印象もありますが、おっとこれは踏ん張りを切った後、上下
ちょっとヒヤリとしましたね。
そうですね。まだ伸びそうな大経由から、おっとしかし持っていった。足りないレベル1選手の魅力ではあります。今度は、おっと
下に来てもおかしくない。
おっとこれはどうだ。
まあさすがに。
おしかし先ほど見た展開、おっとしかし着地点はなかった。頭に撃墜を通す一安心吉田、しかしその後浮かした展開、空中へ
空中前から
上スマッシュを置いて崖をスキップ甘えようとしていればそのままというところでしたが、上強から空中へ、こちらも確定タイム
落としを狙いましたかね、今のはね。
なるほど。おっと
これは帰れない。
ギリギリでしたが、この崖周りでの空中スマッシュ、左側にいる吉野下がリンクをつかむ。そのまま空中前攻撃撃墜。空中前はあえて内側に打ちましたが、今度は着地で横スマッシュ。どうだ爆弾空中へ、どうだこれは撃墜。飛び跳ねるな、レベル1ギリギリの。
And in a close Game 5 set, level 1 defeated Yoshidora 3-2, moving on in bracket and eliminating Yoshidora at 7th place as the 3rd seed. And before we can catch up with level 1 and Yamad in losers bracket, we have to take a look up and see winner semifinals. Those sets being Raru versus Shirayuki and Doramigi versus Ron. Let's start with Ron and Doramigi, shall we? Ron doesn't make appearances at tournaments very often, but when he does, he pops off, just like I told you in my pre-tournament analysis of this very tourney, in which I predicted Ron could make top 8. Entering the tournament as the 16th seed, Ron swept pools flawlessly, and then moved into top 96, where he got wins over Raru Kikusu's Falco in a 3-0 victory, the breakout Falco Kashiya, who we talked about earlier, in a 3-1 win, and lastly, Ron clutched out a Game 5 set over level 1 to make top 8 from winner's side. Doramigi, the best Min in the world, came into Sumabato SP49 as the 5th seed, and started off the weekend by sweeping pools flawlessly, as has been the pattern, before moving into top 96 and defeating Urarumote, a Wario main, in a close Game 5 set. A volatile matchup for Min. Doramigi then moved on and defeated Kuropanzu's Rob 3-0, a much more volatile and, dare I say, bad matchup for Min. And lastly, Doramigi defeated Rocky's Steve in a 3-1 victory, a matchup that is probably winning for once, maybe? With this win, Doramigi entered top 8 through winner's side, in order to go up against Ron.
第49回スマバト勝者の準決勝です。ドラ右の面々対ロンのヨッシー見ていきましょう。 トップの一つです。さあ空中城取って歩いて横境、空中城はしっかりガード避けている。横境から上境を拾って空中へ。おおメテオまである。危ない状況きたー。これがロン。さあどうする。上の重なりメテオが匂う。危ない状況こづいて
残してるけど、
あーこれは横方向に距離が取り
あれは帰ってこれる。
きた。お見事。さあメガボルト装填撃を狙う。これはヒット。お見事。
完全によくて、
しかし依然状況重視有利に置いているのはドラ右。このままメガボルト。お見事。ジャンプに技が噛み合うだけでゲームが終わってしまう。うわーっとこれはしっかり飾っている。ロンがドラ右にじわりじわりと詰まってメガボルトヒット。お見事。体育の形避けている。さあ上から吹きどうする。メガボルト届いている。お見事。上から吹き苦しい状況。なるほど。上のうまく使って帰ってきたがドラゴンのレザーが届いている。さあこれはもう
コードはあるが、
とどめを刺すだけか。お見事。しっかりメテオキック。
And ultimately, Dormigi defeated Ron 3-1, moving into winners finals and casting Ron down into losers to face Yamad. And you know what, I'ma just say it, I don't think Yoshi is a very good matchup for Min Min either. Regardless, it's now time for us to take a look at the other side of winners semis, Raru versus Shirayuki. Shirayuki came into the tournament as the number 6 seed, starting off the weekend by sweeping pools flawlessly before moving into top 96 and defeating Fudadadamen 3-0, Goryoka's Joker in yet another 3-0 victory, and lastly, defeating Yamadi 3-0, making winner's side top 8 without dropping even a single game. Raru entered Sumabato SP49 as the 2nd seed, starting off the weekend by getting through pools, though not flawlessly, actually dropping a game to Claw, one of Japan's best, and only, Mii Gunner mains. After clutching the set out and moving into top 96, Raru then got wins over Kyon, the world's best Link, 3-0, Kananabe's Fox in a 3-0, quite the bad matchup for Fox, and lastly, Raru defeated Karage's Captain Falcon in a close Game 5 set, making top 8 through winner's side in order to go up against Shirayuki.
それでは参りましょう。ウィナーズセミファイナル、ラルルイジ VS さあレバーチャーによって救われたこの命。うまい。
ダイレガが入っても関係ありません。
シントルの白雪ですが、空中しろ滑りの空中前完全にフィニッシュ。
あれ結構難しいですよ。
なんならね、暴発も一応視野に入ってくるので、かなりギリギリまで確認もうまー。15暴れ掴んでこのパーセント下火の暴れが間に合って、これは空中しろ。
キーが独特ですねこれ。
本当にうまい。
ちょっと空な
確認、今のでさえも確認してしまうラルの精度。うまい。暴れがどうしても難しい入力ですので多少のミスは出てくるでしょう。
117はキルゾーンかな。
集中した。翔ちゃんつかみを誘ってジャクジャク下スマッシュ低いベクトル。これは完璧。ジャンプを読み切った。ステップ潜り込んだが2回目の判定つかみ
見事。
ただげ内変更には対応。
5ゲームですね。
ベスマッシュ
いい読みではあった。
リング状況が少し心もとないがこの崖展開で取り切りたい。ウーバー暴れで
どうえらいことなってもうたね。
And in a close Game 5 set, Raru defeated Shirayuki 3-2, moving into winners finals against Dormigi and casting Shirayuki down into losers quarters to face off against level 1. And since we're talking about it already, let's just go watch that set now, shall we?
戻りが強いからね。
そうなんですよね。白雪選手いつも通りで強いですからね。さてでは始まります。第49回スマブトルーザーズクォーター、そしてあの位置から成功させている白雪選手もお見事です。
この前の上投げ空へ
絡まっちゃいましたね。しまって撃墜というところでしたが、今度もやはりこの差し飾るを得ないところをつかみが置いてあります。この組み立て方。さあどうだ。ステップ戦踏み込んだのはレベル1選手空中。さあ痛み分けは苦しいな白雪。空中しろ跳ねのけられるか。ショット嫌な展開。ここでつながるか。空中前長く続きそうだ。これを切り切るためにはまずは1ストック取りたいところですが、気まずい位置取り。戻りのブーメランを避けたくて飛んだところに着地に横スマッシュが爆発して痛み分け。この前ジャストシュート上強攻撃をディレイをかけますがビスマッシュ届かない。横スマッシュこれは撃墜。
届かないか。
And in the end, level 1 defeated Shirayuki 3-0, moving on in bracket and eliminating Shirayuki at 5th place as the number 6 seed. Level 1 now advanced into loser semifinals, and to see who else would make it there, we have to see the other side of losers quarters, Yamad versus Ron.
行きましょう。ルーザーズクォーターファイナル。ロンのヨッシー対するはヤマディロゼッタのチコ。見ていきましょう。ありますけどね。
そうこれもうまいんですよね。チコを守る行動。
おー、これ大丈夫大丈夫じゃない。ジャンプがね。後ろから宇宙へ。暴れる。これはしっかりと通していった。さあこの崖受け身は取るヤマディ。さあそして回避中にも取れている空中後ろ。ここは素直に行きました。さあここでまずは地高処理状況を作って空中前受け身は取る。これは受け身が取れない。いいですね。差し返しのつかみお見事。おっとこれやばいぞ。空中前空中へ大人の余裕があるか。ここは空中へこれ当たらず。しかし回避上がりお見事。さあこのストック非常に重要。空へのお見事。復帰阻止しっかり決めきった。うまい。お客様まだ届かねえ。よし重い。会場からどよめき。しかしリカバリー掴んで上投げからの
しかないですね。
ヒットドロップ。なるほど。チコにダメージが入って上様安定でけえ。
着地のコースをつってならではの部分が逆にロンが生かしてますね。
そうですね。今はかなりロンのターンが続く。受け身難しい。さあ 0% で帰ってくる帰ってくる。後ろ届いた。
And in a close Game 5 set, Ron defeated Yamad 3-2, moving on in bracket and eliminating Yamad at 5th place as the 46th seed. By far, the breakout story of this tournament. Ron now moved into loser semifinals for the run back from winners quarters against level 1.
というところでしょう。では、はい、ユーザーズセミファイナルロン対レベル1参りましょう。ステージは警察、はい、分かんないですけど、ロン選手よりドキドキの巻き方とかもちょっとレベル1選手、はいはい、変えてるかも。あれ、ほんまにしょ。ワンツーに行く、追いつきます。巻き貝でも予告を拾って空中後ろ復帰ができない。空中ザル帰れないところ。どうだ。さすがに帰れないか。まず展開継続選択。卵が浮きすぎてもう何もないか。ルートはしんどい。間に合わなかった。これは空中ザル逆に帰れた。空中ザルもう一回。おお引いてる。これ届かない。届かない。今の後ろというところに回転機が刺さったが再びロンヨッシー回避を切らざるを得ないレベルとにかく空中へがつながる。
And ultimately, Ron defeated level 1 3-0, moving on in bracket and eliminating level 1 at 4th place as the 8th seed. And this is fascinating to me. Both level 1 and Yamad defeated Yoshidora at some point in this bracket, and yet both of them got eliminated by Ron, with level 1 even getting double eliminated by the lower ranked Yoshi. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Either way, Ron now sat comfy in losers finals, awaiting the resolution of winners finals, Doramigi versus Raru.
本当にそうなんですよね。そう、この展開になってますよね。下上火いつもの使った瞬間にあれあれ本当だ。本当ですか。強気の毎回とかをいかに彼かというのを意識するのは私は感じられます。まずいですね。メガボルトで止めてからうま組み立てがうまいんですよね。伸ばして上少し止めていてエクセイで受け身仕込んだら当たってなかったっていうね、たまにあるやつですけど、はい、コイン1枚の家賃が高すぎるよ。狙ってくるところ、これは移動回避を受けて着地打ってる。アジアンはある。外してしかしジャンプ読みの目がま
前回避を刈り取るこの引きつかみからのウェビー、この割り上がり読んでいたらルイジ間一髪、ドラミゲーム回が間に合いました。クエヌから上京サイクロン、お見事、もう浮きすぎて何もないか、空中下で降りてここに来て1ストック目のターンの移り変わりがすごいが、しかし追いかけるいく上で
ゼロパージャンプの方が軽く伸びちゃうから、ある程度パーセントもらってからでもいいよねっていう話ですね。
あれー届かない。
And in a close Game 5 set, Doramigi defeated Raru 3-2. And while this matchup is for sure winning for Minmin, don't forget that Raru is usually extremely good in this matchup. Doramigi defeating Raru here was a pretty big deal that allowed him to move into grand finals from winner's side. Raru, on the other hand, was cast down into losers finals, where Ron awaited.
ルーザーズファイナル、ラルイージ VS ロンヨッシー、フォローバスよ髪を取ってビットシルベリー、シルベリーで展開で変わってロンヨッシー上スマッシュ、ワウ、ちょっと背面飛び出してきたところギリギリフックが届いて、しかしジャンプの牽制に対した今日スワビが通って、前に走っていたラルイージ、サイクルの暴れコースで下スマッシュ、後ろ側だったので的確、スカミが通ってネッケンをミスらない、スカミが通って速変更も前回キットをして最後はサイクロンでしたね。今手が届かなかったです。空中後ろの暴れ球になった空中ザル、これはジャンプが潰れて横スマッシュをビホールドしている、これを乗り越えてこそのラルイージです。
気合十分ですね。
京都馬場新大地、ウェルトラ判断できているエビー。
And in yet another close Game 5 set, Raru defeated Ron 3-2, moving on in bracket and eliminating Ron at 3rd place as the 16th seed. An amazing performance. Raru now moved into grand finals from loser's side for the run back against Doramigi to see who would become your champion of Sumabato SP49.
はあ、参りましょう。伝説が見れるかもしれない。一瞬たりとも見逃すな。グランドファイナル、勝者がドラ右、敗者はラル参りましょう。
よろしくお願いします。
ステージは島村でまずは挨拶、ドラ右2人。早すぎるんだよ。早すぎるんだよ、本当に。早すぎるんだって。早すぎるんだよ。まずかった。そうだね、背面面斜め上から差し込んだらリターン取れますよだと思うんですけど、背面面斜め上から差し込んだらネクストに行きますよ。あら、いやいや、両者リターンが欲しすぎる行動。危なくない？危なくない？
危ないかも。
危ない。あー、完璧だ。
まあまあまあ、
止められるのは今ラル君のみ。ラルイージ止めるのか、それともここはウエビー止めるぜと一に一気に流れを取ってなんか面白いラインの交換がありましたがどうなっとるもう一回崖若い日をきっちり読んで、しかし1ストック対1ストック引きつかみ、そこに対して 81%リードを奪っているのはラル、上京から上見ゲームが決まるのか、それともアンコールがあるのか。うわ上から上ビーじゃなくても空中前、うわなんで避けれる、これはフェンス神ゲームを決めに行ったか、フッケとし完成のこれは横ビーで完成で撃墜してしまった。
And in one final close Game 5, Doramigi prevented the reverse 3-0 and defeated Raru 3-2, eliminating Raru at 2nd place as the 3rd seed eliminating Raru at second place as the second seed, and with Doramigi winning Sumabato SP49 as the 5th seed. And just like Shiny Mark's win at S Factor 11, Doramigi's win here at Sumabato was historic for several reasons. The first is that Doramigi is now the youngest player to ever win a major in an official Smash title. You see, Doramigi is only 14 years old, and the previous record holder was Akola at 15. And even though I believe Project M has a younger major winner, when it comes to official Smash titles, Doramigi is the new record. Secondly, this is Minmin's first ever time winning a major solo. Proto Banham came close at Double Down 2022, but at tournaments he won, he always used Lucina at least once. So none of his major wins were solo Minmin, meaning that this tournament is the first. And the last reason this win is so historic is perhaps the most obvious one. It's Doramigi's first major win. Ever since his massive breakout to second place at Mayasuma Top 13.5, when he was only 13 years old, Doramigi has been chasing that major victory, working like crazy and pushing a character that had many doubts about her solo viability. And now he's finally done it, and none too soon. Doramigi is likely top 15 and starting to make a case for fringe top 10 in the world. And I can see no better way to wrap up this season than with his first major win. I suppose we'll just have to wait and see how this will affect his ranking. For today, however, that's going to be it for today's video. Before I go, shout out to my patrons at Laster, Logan S, Persipalm, Wawa, Mr. Sinister, Happy Feet, Oceanman, Mistybot, Diamond Blaze, and my two patrons Iltis and Ben L. Additionally, shout out my YouTube members DJ Jr., Boston R, Gonas P, Kirby Fan, Nexus, Loco Soko, and my two members Mike G, Wu-Tang Forever, and Stormtrooper. Lastly, extra special thanks to my tier 3 supporters Fab Blizzard, who says Big Deal make it out of his slump, Avadoon, who says Mr. Rice is the go to Smash content, Iltis, who says MKLeo always comes back, and Grant I Am. If you want to support me using any of these methods, links are in the description down below. Don't forget to use my coupon code RISTER in order to get 10% off of any order from Indie the AM. And lastly, I want to give one last sincere thanks to Let Me Fly for their continued support of my channel. Link to their Twitter page is also in the description. Don't miss my next upload, but until then, I've been Mr. Mice, and thank you all so very much for watching.